So here's Harper's Ferry, and you can see all the old buildings. The inn I stayed in last night was over 200 years old. Here's the shoemaker, and cobblestone streets, and the trail actually runs right through this town. Oh, the contrast. On the left-hand side, I've got the lovely Shenandoah River here. And on the right side, I have the American automobile. Peace and quiet and calm. And just the opposite. Good morning. I am sitting here with Dr. Karen Townsend, the proprietor of the Towns Inn in Harper's Ferry. Had a lovely stay. But Dr. Townsend, can you tell me your story?
In 2 minutes or less? No, but I'll start. I'm here at the Towns Inn, TOWN''S, and I'm Karen Townsend. That's a coincidence, but this is a wonderful place to be here in almost heaven, West Virginia, Harper's Ferry, a very unique place geographically and historically. I invite you here anytime. This is my 20th year. I'm 76 years old, and until 20 years ago, I was pretty much an educator. Started at the University of Houston in 1967, and then stayed there to get the Bachelor's of Education in 71, Master's of the Foundations, what's called the Foundations of Education in 74, and Doctorate of Education in 79. And then I got certified in 1985 to teach English to speakers of other languages. And that's when teaching got easy, because I was working with physicians at the Texas Medical Center from all over the world who spoke great medical English, but not good general English, and they didn't really write well. So I was working with classes of 6 physicians, and then my last job in DC was teaching English to the wives of Saudi Arabian diplomats through Oakwood Language Institute, which happened to be a Christian-owned place. But Oakwood, Lane McIntyre, had a contract with the Saudi Arabian embassy for 20 years. And these wealthy Saudi ladies wanted to learn English, and their husband said okay, but they wouldn't want the ladies to go to the public places. So I would go into the homes of these Saudi Arabian diplomats and teach English to their the wives, and I got to know the families. And I am a Christian, and these ladies would actually go with me to Capitol Hill Baptist Church as a cultural experience. None of the men ever came, but most of the ladies did. So I've had a rich career in teaching, but when I was 57, I decided enough teaching, and I wanted to do something different. And I love history, love the geography here, and so I became an innkeeper here after living for a decade at our house on Capitol Hill, 114 3rd Street Northeast, 3 blocks from the U.S. Capitol. So I had a great urban experience in D.C. Doesn't get any better. Plus, for 15 years, my grandkids, I have 10 of them, they're now ages 8 to 25, lived in D.C. So it was like a family place. And my grandkids, some went to Emmanuel Christian School, some went to BASIS, a charter school in D.C., some are anyways, very interesting there in DC. But Harper's Ferry is my favorite place in the whole world, and I'd like to invite you here. Like I said, I'm from Texas. Maybe I didn't say that, but I was born in Lockhart, 30 miles south of Austin. In 1993, went to Salzburg, Austria. 93, 94, 95, my daughter and I were there. I was directing an English program at Salzburg International Preparatory School, and then came back to the DC area. And I spent a couple of years in the Middle East, a year in Kuwait, a year in the United Arab Emirates. I was actually in the UAE, teaching at UAE University in Al Ain on 9/11. So that was a very interesting place to be, especially because my home was on Capitol Hill. So the embassy gave me a note. There's been terrorist activity in your neighborhood. Call home. And so we didn't know what was going to happen after that. But anyway, it was a great experience. But all that to say, Harper's Ferry is truly almost heaven. And I hope you come see me here and enjoy it as much as I do.
Thank you so much, Dr. Townsend. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
So let's talk about what it means to flip-flop. Flip-flop is a term on the Appalachian Trail, meaning that you're not doing a direct hike through. The traditional way would be south to north from Springer Mountain all the way up to Katahdin, Maine. That's called NOBO, northbound. The second traditional way would be SOBO, or southbound, and that would be just reverse it. Start at Katahdin, Maine, and end in Springer, Georgia. Obviously, the available starting times are completely different because the weather in Maine is so very different from the weather in Georgia. A flip-flop hike is to start in a middle point and to go north to south and then back south to north in a different point or such. And so the way we've started this hike, we started, as you recall, maybe at McAfee Knob, which is at mile marker, well, not at the knob, at the parking lot, which is at mile marker 711 on the Appalachian Trail. We then did 88 miles up to, Punch Bowl Overlook. So from Punch Bowl Overlook, Karen needed to head back to Florida. So we got a ride back to Roanoke, which is the airport we flew into. And she got on the plane back to Bradenton. I, on the other hand, got on the train, went up to Harper's Ferry. And so now I'm in West Virginia, hiking back to Virginia to try to close that gap between where Karen and I got off at Punch Bowl Overlook and here. So that's what a flip-flop is. And honestly, a flip-flop, you can bounce around multiple times in a flip-flop. And we withhold or hold back that opportunity as scheduling challenges come up. So stay tuned. But for now, I'm still in West Virginia, heading southbound to Virginia. I'm going to connect the foot trail back in Virginia. Just got my second installment of Trail Magic. For those of you who don't know, Trail Magic is an unexpected kindness along the trail. Some people actually will set up at intersections and the hikers cross from one section of the trail to another and go across that road, or maybe across a parking lot of some sort. They'll set up and provide meals. But the two cases of Trail Magic, I got an orange from a hiking couple about a week ago. And today I had some ladies asked where a water source was, and I said, they said 1.7 miles away, and they said, am I running low? I said, yeah, a little bit. They just took a bottle of water out and gave it to me, and fresh, cool, filtered water on the trail. Super important, so very grateful. The right stuff. If you remember, I started a section called The Right Stuff a few days ago in honor of a woman who taught me Bible verses years and years ago. We made it through A and B in the alphabet, and yesterday should have been C, which would have been appropriate since I was in the city of Washington, D.C. And you'll see what I mean real soon. But the verse for the letter C comes from Psalm 51. And many of you are already cluing into what that verse is, but it says, "Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew in me a right spirit." And you know, the irony was being in DC that the nation could use a clean heart and a renewed spirit. I know we're not a theocracy, nor should we be, but certainly the ability to understand that there is a God and that that's where morality comes from and that's where love comes from. Super important. So yeah, create in me a clean heart, O God, renew a right spirit within me. You can feel the pain of David after what he had done with Bathsheba and being confronted with a sin from Nathan. You know, all of us would love a Jonathan, a friend like David had. But the truth of the matter is, we all need a Nathan, someone who can point out where we've gone astray and pull us back. And when we're unwilling to be pulled back, that's a bad, bad place to be. Happy Mother's Day. Now, I realize when you're watching this, it's a week after Mother's Day. And we did an episode that actually was filmed on May the 3rd, but came out on May the 10th in honor of Mother's Day. But today actually is May the 10th. And my lovely wife has gone back to Bradenton, gone back to work, and our two wonderful sons went over there to celebrate her today. And I'm sure our daughter on the West Coast is calling as well and wishing her happy Mother's Day and sending love. But Karen, happy Mother's Day. You are a wonderful wife and a wonderful mother to our kids. And here's to many, many more good years with you. I love you. Bye.